ladies and gentlemen. That's right, there it is, ladies and gentlemen. That's your cue to remind you what time it is. It's time for Victor Allen's New Sports, written, directed, and produced by Victor Allen, the unique neo-urban fans view of sports. That's right. And here he is, ladies and gentlemen, the man that the ladies have nicknamed Sexual Chocolate. Here he is. Here's Vic. Yeah. Yeah. All right.
A lot of yelling for something.
Back in the cage.
A lot of yelling. I'm kind of off my game today. A little off, man. I can't get over the dang chicken thing, man. Or the turkey. I was just still freaking me out. Okay. All right. You know what? I can't recover from it, man. It's hard. I can't. All right, you guys. Hey, welcome to New Sports. Like I said, I have no credentials. I have no support. I have nothing but a fan's perspective, and that's all I do. I just watch sports, get on the camera, and talk about it. And if I don't talk about the NFL playoffs to say who's going to win, and I want everybody to strip this one down, because you know right now everybody got the matchup they wanted. There's 4 teams. Everybody know who it is. It's going to be the Patriots and the Broncos. It's going to be Seattle and San Francisco. So, bottom line, we're going to strip it down and find out who wins and why. Everybody's talking about Brady, the most consistent team and quarterback with the Patriots, of course, in the last, 12, 13, 14 years. So
that's right.
Everybody's looking at that because they're a model of consistency. And so with them, they get what they call a pass. If they don't make it, they'll say they always make it at least to the AFC Championship. If they do make it, they'll say, look what they have achieved. So they can't lose. They're not expected to win. And nobody picked them earlier in the year to actually win. But let me preface this before we get into what I call my enemy is my friend, because everybody likes to make it seem like, Peyton and Brady, oh yeah, they have great admiration for each other. They do, but they want to take each other's necks off. So before I even go there,
that's football.
That's football. So
that's football.
So here's the part that I'm going to put the argument with Denver and the Patriots this way. In the AFC, it's a down year. I'm first say that because the usual suspects that are usually battling it out typically are Baltimore, down year. They launched all their players, got their Super Bowl, walked away. The organization is not trying to be like the Patriots. Pittsburgh, down year. Sorry, PMC, but that's the way it rolls right now. So you had a couple of teams that's not in there battling the same way they used to. So really all you had was Denver, and your next best bet was Cincinnati, to actually off or derail the Patriots. So here's my thing. Question is, Patriots goes to Denver. Do you prefer that if you had to rely on the New England side of a win, is it better that Blunt rushes for at least 3 TDs or Brady throws for 4 TDs to win? Which is the most probable, Mario?
Yeah, because I don't know which one is better. See, the probability is such that
you got both choices.
You know what? It's going to be a shootout. See, it's going to be a game that it wouldn't surprise me if this game was 40. Both teams scored.
So you're saying no defense, really?
I think they're going to do it. I just think that they're going to both be trying to blow it up.
Right.
And I just think it's going to end up being more of a shootout than a defensive thing. So we'll see. That's the first one.
Right.
People have tried to decide, is it going to be defensive
or
offensive? I just think because of the way they've been playing, that there's no way that either one of these teams is not going to score 30 points, Vic. I can't see either one scoring less than 30. The Patriots, again, just showed you again what they can do. No, dude. I think it's going to be, even though I respect the defenses, it's going to come down to the turnovers and the big plays. Everybody's got a bunch of big play people. So I don't know how they're. I think they're going to have a bunch of running touchdowns more running touchdowns on the Patriots side than the Denver side.
Okay, so here's the part. Now it's money time. Money time says you have to put your bet down on what condition, because the first thing I didn't get to do, and I have to say this, I didn't go check the injury report. And you always check the injury report before you go.
I didn't either.
I didn't do it, so I'm going to be making what they call a pick without all the information. But if I had to say, Patriots Brady throws for 4 TDs and Peyton Manning throws for 4 TDs. Let's just say they equalize and offset each other.
Right.
What will be the condition that will favor 4 TDs favorable for the Patriots versus Denver? Because they do have Blunt on the Patriots.
Yeah, that's not the deciding factor for me.
Right. So it's not them. So they're going to offset each other. You're saying?
Yeah, I don't see the running attacks. Even with Blunt, that's not. See, to me, it's who you're playing,
right,
and all those things at a given moment.
Right.
Okay, so that's not the thing that decides it for me. I think for me, and I still don't know. I think it's special teams.
You know what? And I think it's turnovers too.
Turnovers and special teams.
You can't turn it over to either one of these teams.
Yeah, that's why it's kind of hard. But Vic, there's no way that both teams are going to score for 30 points.
Right. So the home field, Denver has money bet.
That's my number one deciding factor.
Right.
For me.
Right.
The number one deciding factor is that Denver's at home.
Okay.
To me.
Okay.
Because this is so close.
Right.
And team wise.
Right.
That's a big deal. The home advantage.
Who has the best pass rush between Denver and the Patriots? I've already picked mine. You think about it, because both of them.
I believe it's Denver.
You believe? I actually think the Patriots have a good.
See, I don't think in either case.
Right.
Okay, Vic. That's what I'm saying. In either case, the offensive lines are beasts. That's one thing we know. The Patriots and Denver, I think, has an injury, but still, they've proven even before that how they even handle injuries and how they shift.
Right.
No. So the offensive lines on both of these teams are beasts. They're absolute beasts.
Right.
So I don't think either team. I could care less about your pass rush.
Right.
You're not gonna do a whole lot. You're gonna do reasonable. Like I said, this is a team effort. It has to be the coordinated defense,
right?
Really, with everything, and because I think they're gonna score 30 points apiece.
So let me just say this then:
pass rush or not,
who can actually afford to give up a turnover or two and still be in the game? See,
I think Peyton Manning has a slight edge at the ability to come back and generate things at the last minute, but they both are known for that.
Right.
No, absolutely no. So I only give Peyton a slight edge because of the type of a season he's had.
Right.
Okay, but they're neck and neck on that stuff.
Right. Now, here's the other part, too, because I like this. PMC, yeah, you think the Pats are going to come out throwing. I absolutely think right now that
both of them.
I'm sitting up and going, this is your game against the next game. It's expected that Denver's going to say the Pats are going to run Blunt. So
they're going to try everything.
So if whoever gets a running or rushing game frees up the passing game, and it also allows everybody not to hone in on you. Because, for example, Brady is known that if a pass rush gets to him and they don't have a rushing game, they attack him, and then he only has that pressure because he doesn't move outside the pocket. And Peyton is the same way. So who's more apt to be affected? I said, well, when Peyton I think Peyton's timing is faster. I think to me, what he does is a little bit faster, whereas Brady just has this process. He says, this is where you're going to be. I'm going to throw it there. Speed and delivery. So I'm going to give up a sack, couple of sacks. Who can make up for those sacks? I'm more apt to believe it's Denver. I'm giving Denver about three. I just got to say they're going to win by 3. I think it's going to be in the 20s. I think it's going to be in the mid to upper 20s. The score. I don't see a blowout at all, definitely. So I'm looking at Denver by 3. I would like to say 4, but it's hard for me right now.
It's going to go down to the wire. Like I said, I don't really see. It's both in both of these teams, in both of the games that's coming up.
Yeah.
I don't think, because the level of competition is so high and the teams are so well drilled,
right,
and so disciplined all across the board. See, all the riffraff's gone. All the riffraff's gone. There is no obvious weaknesses, and all these teams have strong points. It's a matter of which. So that's why I think it comes down to who can pull it off at the individual moments. I think it's totally unpredictable to me what will work, because they will all try to do things and it'll be what works, and they are both teams that adjust. So if the running gets going,
right,
they will all try.
Right.
But whatever goes with, they will go with the flow. Okay. I just expect, I don't think I'm different. I think it's going to be a game that's won like 48-45.
You think it's going to be high?
Oh, high.
Let me say this. Let's go to the next image here, and I'm just going to ask you the question. This, to me, will determine the game. Will Denver stop the blunt?
I mean, to tell you what you call stop, I think he's going to get his. I think that, first of all, and I said this before, the Patriots have been running all year long, but why do people at least trying? They even did in the preseason. What was happening
is a lot of fumbles.
Exactly. It wasn't working. Man. It was a lot of fun, but they kept trying. They never stopped. When you know Belichick, when you have an issue like fumbling, that doesn't mean you give up running. You get the right guy in the run.
And they didn't want to. Here's the bad part. If you don't have a running game, you subject Brady to trauma, meaning that he will get hit, they will target him, and you do want him healthy, so it has to protect him.
And you could weigh that versus the fact that he also had to break in inexperienced receivers and also with injuries. Ty Hilton grew through that whole season with him. So no, I think that's why I take it all as those different variables.
Right.
I think you just have to see. I think it's may the best man win.
Yeah.
And I don't know how you make a prediction, but I notice, and I kind of agree with you. Notice we're all staying within 3. Isn't it kind of interesting? No one has even said a 5 point.
Because
you said 3. I said 48-45. You said in the 20s by 3.
Yeah, I can't, because
me neither.
I think right now the game is so equal on both ends. I do think the Patriots have a little bit of edge on the rushing game. So to me, turnovers are going to be the key. The thing you don't want to do, number one, the defensive coordinators on both sides said we do not want to have Brady have 8 offensive segments versus Peyton have 7. In other words, don't turn the ball over. The more offensive,
they're both going to throw interceptions.
That's right.
Here's my prediction. They're both going to throw interceptions.
Okay, all right.
I don't see. I'm sorry. I can't see either. Now, Vic, it's going to be a question of how many, right?
Right.
But I know there's no way, because both of those guys are going to force balls in there.
They have to. They got to win with the quarterback.
That's right. So there will be interceptions, I think, on both sides.
It will not be a rushing game depending on the running backs to win this game.
Right.
I just don't see it.
No, there'll be some good running in there, but it's not going to be. And I think you could easily have a couple of interceptions on each side.
All right, let's go to the next. All right, I've been waiting for this one. Seattle, San Francisco, man, you can't handle revenge 49ers. What I'm saying is, it may not be an NFC revenge game, but it's still revenge because Seattle has their number. They've outscored San Francisco when playing in Seattle like 71-16 or 13, so they got their number. Now, here it is. Wilson is not throwing as much to the level of what they call, let's just say, to the expectations of the production they want to see him perform at. They say he's down a little bit on the production because they didn't score that many points against New Orleans. In the last 3 or 4 games, his QBR rating has gone down a little bit. Not a big deal. As long as you win, you win. The question is, San Francisco comes in hot, and they come in with Kaepernick, who's actually using his legs. This defense is better. Would you agree? The defense that Kaepernick is going against is better than the New Orleans Saints.
Oh, totally. And I think some of those comparisons are just irrelevant, kind of. In other words, to me, you're going to do better against certain teams at this time of the year. Does that prophesize?
Right.
I don't know that at this time of the year that it does that. People try to say that, but I don't really think. And there's a big deal being made of who's coming in on the high.
Right.
And I just think that they're too disciplined for that, Vic.
Right.
Both teams, that's just a bunch of crap.
Right.
It's about what they're going to do on that given day.
True.
And I think that when it comes down to it, I give a slight edge in offense to Seattle on the running attack.
Yep.
And I give a slight edge to Seattle on the turnover factor. I think that part of the thing with Russell is that he's a little more, to me, consistent and steady.
Right.
I'd rather have that. I think Kaepernick, even though he has those, it's a little more risk in there.
He throws a little more. He has more turnovers.
He's going to have a little more turnovers, even the running thing. But that's okay. It's just what you got, kinda. Right. So that means it's like whatever happens, right? If he pulls it off. So that's why. But I give a slight edge to Russell Wilson out of the discipline factor.
Right.
To me, with the running, they're a little more balanced, steady. Okay.
Yeah.
And I think they have a little bit of an edge defensively too. Slight.
No.
The most slight.
San Francisco.
No, Seattle.
Yeah.
Again, just the most slight. It's not.
Yeah,
I think the defensive backfield on Seattle is better than San Francisco's.
But the linebackers on San Francisco are
are better
than Seattle.
But I think that Seattle's down might be better.
Yeah.
Now, wait a minute.
Depends
what you're talking about. See, depends what you're talking about. Because Seattle has, San Francisco's down is great too right now.
Well, they both swarm the ball very quickly, effectively, and fast. They are swarming defenses. We know that.
Right.
The front four penetration, to me, the Smith brothers, that's what I call it on San Francisco. You got to account for them. Alden Smith and the other guy, I can't remember his name, I'm drawing the blank.
Right.
They are so much of an impact on what they do that I think they're more effective than the front four of Seattle.
But to me, in the pass rush maybe, but I don't know about against the run. See, I think you can run Marshawn at them.
Who has a better game?
When you go straight at those guys like that, straight at them, I think you can run at them like that. You can run at the 49ers straight, hard, right up the gut. Even with Willis there, you can get those blocks, and other people have done it too.
Right, and I'll say this. When you look at Marshawn Lynch, when he's running, he likes to bounce out more.
Right.
Gore tends to be the one that says, I run straight ahead. So let's just say this. They both are going to not have what they call the quarterbacks, these extreme high number passing games. We're expecting them not to be having 400 yards passing, either one. But when it comes to rushing,
well, they'll get it over 3.
They may get over 3.
Because I expect a high-scoring game.
But see, what I'm trying to figure out is, if I was San Francisco, the rushing game means more to me. Because if I chew up the clock, it keeps the fans out of that 12th man out of the game. Time of possession. Who has the advantage on time of possession?
Well, that's the part I don't know. I think you hit the nail on the head. That is the biggest variable. For example, for all I know, Frank Gore could bust out and have a better day than Marshawn. Right. If he does, that affects everything. Right. I think a bunch of us are automatically thinking Seattle's running attack is going to be better than the 49ers, and I do too.
Right.
But in the back of my mind, I also go, that depends on energies and vibes and all this other stuff. In other words, there's no question that the 49ers could step up and do better running than we expect. I'm betting that they don't. But I know they could. Frank Gore could step up and have a breakout game. It's kind of in that unpredictable zone.
But it's not likely for him.
That's why I say that's the variable that the game hinges on.
Right.
It's who actually ends up being the best running like that. Because I think they're going to pass. But, I don't think you can count the 49ers out. Even though I keep thinking Marshawn Lynch I see it as being stronger. I keep thinking, just don't count Frank Gore and them out on the running attack. They might shock you.
If you're San Francisco, if you say, let's take out Marshawn Lynch, then you actually are forcing Russell to beat you with the pass and his legs. Who's more apt to be successful at that? If they shut down Gore from Seattle and say, shut down Gore, Kaepernick with his legs and his arm, I'm more apt to go to Kaepernick because he's demonstrated to me already his legs on the road beating a team away from home the way he's done it, whereas Russell hasn't so far. So do we need to see a Russell Wilson who hasn't shown that in the last 4 or 5 games?
I think that's like one of the variables. I think, for example, I expect that he might do more in terms of running.
Right.
But then I also see him taking more punishment.
Yeah.
I think the Seattle linebackers
are going
to come at him.
He's more apt to turn the ball over.
And I think the variable again is when he runs, when that defense collapses on him, because they both do this now. Both quarterbacks run. It's their ability to avoid taking those hits.
Right.
Because they're both at risk.
So if you made your money bet
I
on
think
which
Kaepernick
quarterback
is going to get his bell rung if he don't watch out.
Make your bet on which quarterback you are more confident at actually giving the extra.
Russell Wilson.
Because he does not turn the ball over.
See, man, I like steadiness. In other words, I think that Kaepernick has got that spark.
Right.
But that's the same risk. It's the extra risk.
Right.
And they're both very talented, but I'd rather have steady.
Okay.
It's like we talked about with the Philadelphia before, too.
Right.
I said, I'd rather have Alex. We talked about Kansas City. Same thing. I said, I'd rather have the quarterback, to me, that's very steady in the pocket. I don't like mistakes.
And look, the last game they played, it was a low score, 10-9 or something like that, or close, very low score. What do you think the score is going to be? Do you think it's going to be an offensive show or a defensive show? It's kind of obvious.
It's going to be an offensive show.
You think it's going to be?
I think the defenses are going to be trying to, but I just think it's too much.
Who wins?
Oh, you talking this one?
Yeah.
This is going to be a lot of defense, but I still think this is a game where you got to win. You got to score 20 points to win. So I think it's like 21-14, 21-18. I don't think you can win this game with 14 points.
This is such a toss-up. My mind says when you can prove you can win on the road, the teams that have won on the road actually show you we win. It doesn't matter. This is one of those moments where I'm going, but look at the history. They just have their number. I have to give the lead over to, because of the two factors. They already have their number based on playing in Seattle. It's always keeping them low scoring.
That's a big deal in Seattle. That's a huge home advantage.
Kaepernick's performance, his worst performances are all at Seattle. Throughout all the games he played this year, his lowest numbers of production. So I have to kind of follow that right now and say, I think if they do what they think they're going to do, if Russell Wilson uses his legs, I actually see the score being somewhere like 24-16.
We know we're very close. And Pete Carroll, he's going to call the games. Pete Carroll is calling the shots on this offense.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you know what kind of an offense, and we know how close we are. I said 21, 14, 21-18 or something like in there. Right. And we're sort of saying almost the same stuff. I just don't think you can win this with 14 points, and I don't think that Seattle at home is going to score under 21 points.
All right. Well, we already know what the handicap was on this one, toss up, but I have to give you guys a subject because, I remember I used to go and have a lot of jobs. And I said, it's a good thing when you can work a lot of places. And I thought that was good on my resume because I said, I've worked here, I've worked there, I've worked here, I worked there. Then one day I sat in front of a human resources director for a big corporate company. And he sat there and he looked. He says, you've done a lot of traveling. Can't make your mind up, huh? So I just sat there. I said, no, this is the next job that I could get. He says, that's exactly it. It was the next job you can get. We want to look at that new offensive coordinator at Alabama. His name is Lane Kiffin. I want somebody at all to give me, this is a good.
Where did did their old offensive coordinator go to the pros?
Yeah, I can't remember. I didn't go even. I was so stuck.
Because that's a prestigious job, dude.
Yeah, but as a offensive coordinator,
still Alabama. That's still prestigious. I bet it pays.
Yeah, it pays, but this man has a track record where offensive will be a step down.
Well, yeah, it's just the fact that I'm still impressed, however, that he commanded that kind of a job from
Nick Saban.
Yes,
I know.
Yeah, I have to go.
I think they're both the same types.
Assholes.
That's exactly it. I actually go like, I think he's going thumbs up. Don't smile. You don't smile. I don't smile.
I don't really have a good take on Lane Kiffin because to me, he always, when you see him talk and speak, he comes off personable. But then you have people interpreting his actions, and it comes off as if he's disingenuous, But again, so I don't have a really good take for him. He doesn't appear to be an aggressive person in any kind of way. The times I see him.
No.
So I'm wondering where the asshole part is supposed to come in at. I don't know. Vic, I don't know. I just don't know, because I know what his reputation is and all that.
Yeah.
It's just that I never saw him do any.
Well,
he just seems to be fickle.
Well, the media can really wrap image around people. It's unfair. I'm not saying he is what the media is.
He's fickle, obviously.
I do. Okay, and we're going to get into this right now.
Well,
I'm going to read off his history of where he's been. I'm not going to go in every detail. And you give me an idea. Is this a travel individual of success? So let me go right over here. Lane Kiffin has been at Fresno State as an assistant football, Colorado State offensive line coach, Jacksonville Jaguars offensive line coach, USC tight ends coach, USC wide receiver coach, USC offensive coach, and then he jumped to Oakland Raiders as a head coach, Tennessee head coach, came back, well, you know about Tennessee, came back to USC, and now is going to Alabama. Where is the success as it relates to having a place where you say, this is where my success is? And I actually eliminate Pete Carroll that time, because that was Pete Carroll to me. And I won't give him that credit as a head coach. I'll just say you are on a system. Pete Carroll has a system. He has transferred that same attitude to Seattle. So wherever you go, Pete Carroll goes.
But I think it says something that he gets jobs from the best people.
Right.
The best people in football seem to all feel he's very valuable. That's still the take-home message to me.
Right. So where's the success? What is his reputation that everybody can say, when he goes here, this is what happens?
Obviously, I think it must be offense, because that's what everybody seems to want him for. And even though you attribute it to, Pete Carroll, it still obviously speaks for him, because that's what he gets the jobs for. I don't see his background as being all that traveled, by the way, compared to other coaches. To me, seems kind of this maybe even a little less than the usual when you think about the number of places that he's been, because they tend to have to change up jobs a lot. So I don't know. But he seems to be known for offense.
So what you're saying is thumbs up.
I'm saying I don't know. I don't know. What we saying, is it a good thing for what?
For him to be the offensive.
Oh yeah, I think that's a great. I think that's a job that many would consider a stepping stone to NFL job.
Why?
Except he's already been in the NFL. But I'm just saying,
exactly
he's still floating around in the best program. So what can you say?
That is success in itself.
Yeah, totally. I mean, when they go, look at what's happened in the pros. Leslie Frazier.
Right.
Look at what happens when they get fired as a head coach.
Right.
They still seem to be valued in their own discipline.
Right.
And they go back and many of them get the jobs right away.
Right.
Into a top program. Even in the NFL, they just stop being a head coach. So some of them, to me, just don't have the thing of being a good head coach.
Thumbs up.
Yeah, so it has to be a thumb.
It's a thumbs up.
Yeah.
I just wanted to position the argument of why, and will people look at it this way, because I looked at the idea that they keep accepting him at these programs, and I said that will tell you they know something about
They're
what he's done.
seeking him out, actually.
Right, so it's a thumbs up, and also just exiting out here. Hey, congratulations on the Detroit Lions getting their new coach, Jim Caldwell. You remember in Indianapolis Colts, formerly there.
That should be a good one.
That should be a good one. Yeah, so I just want to let you know we'll follow up a little bit later on that, and I'm out, man.
And Wisenhunt goes to
Wiesen, go ahead. Titans, right?
Tennessee Titans.
All right, then we'll see.
Ladies and gentlemen, this has been Victor Allen's New Sports, a recurring segment of the Morning Coffee with Mario show. You can see it live Monday through Wednesdays from 10 to 12, somewhere in there. And it'll be rebroadcast as part of our ongoing internet television services. Once again, you've been listening to Pax Terrell TV, New Sports, written, directed, and produced by the bald-headed black man.